I think very well said. Professor Swaran Singh,
I normally see that President Trump's abrupt remarks like this on eve of the international negotiations that United States conducts, uh, if one has to make sense of it, could be part of creating certain amount of pressure for negotiators on whatever issues are under discussion. Other than that, it doesn't stand any logical explanation to make claims which absolutely have no basis. India has no choice. India cannot respond and behave the way President Trump does. India behaves in its own fashion with a very measured response so that doors for diplomacy remain open. India, other than buying oil for its own consumers and for the interests of India's consumers, is also the fourth largest country for refining oil after China, US, and Russia. So, in that sense, the same close friends and allies of United States who are doing direct business with Russia for buying energy, Japan, Turkey,
I
and
put out the
European
data, sir.
Union
That
states,
data
you
is there.
mentioned them, also also continue to buy India's refined oil, which is originally procured from Russia. So, in that sense, I don't think it changes the ground reality other than just such verbose kind of unexplainable comments coming from President Trump. And this is not the first time. And if one has to look at what logic it could carry, I think only thing is it wants to rattle the kind of confidence of negotiators. And we understand this week, negotiations are taking place, and Commerce Secretary himself is joining the negotiations. India, as a largest buyer of oil, as one of the largest importers of defense equipment, has enormous leverages with the United States. But sometimes United States had its own limitations of not being able to respond, and therefore, I think the problem lies also with the United States not willing to share technologies, not being efficient enough to compete with the prices of Russia. For example, Russian response today is clearly very
Okay.
solid. They're saying that people are buying our oil because we provide good oil at extremely low price. EU recently brought that cap on Russian oil prices even further low to $47 per barrel. And the trade is still continuing. So if they want to compete with with Soviet Union, or sorry, with Russia, in becoming as a major oil supplier, you can't just dictate other countries to not do their business. I understand there is a history when India heard the phone call and stopped buying oil from Venezuela, from Iran, and so on. But that's an old story. India increasingly is different, is assertive, and therefore I think one has to understand that as Ambassador Bhatia said, India is no longer viewed as a pushover, and that recognition across the world is increasing. Except that President Trump's abrupt commentaries like this will keep
But
coming.
there's
And I
also another aspect to it, sir.